I was already awake, wondering why Claire hadn't come home. Her bachelorette party was supposed to end hours ago. Instead, I found something else. Something that turned my stomach cold.
There won't be a wedding, but the show is just beginning. The Facebook notification pinged at 3:47 a.m., though I was already awake, staring at the ceiling and wondering why my fiancée, Claire Winslow, hadn't come home. Her bachelorette party should have ended hours ago. I reached for my phone, half expecting a slurred text or a blurry selfie with her friends. Instead, I opened something that froze my blood. There she was, Claire, my bride-to-be of 8 years, perched on a stranger's lap at Murphy's bar, her arms looped around his neck, her face bright with alcohol and something else I didn't want to name. His face was turned just enough for me to glimpse the type. An expensive shirt, a confident smirk, the sort of man who walked into a room and believed it already belonged to him. The caption read, "Last night of freedom. Thanks girls for the wildest bachelorette ever. Hashtag no regrets." My hands trembled as I scrolled through the comments. Fire emojis, get it girl taunts. Her maid of honor, Tessa Ray, had written, "What happens at the bachelorette stays at the bachelorette. Oops." I stared at that photo for 10 minutes. 8 years together, building a life, talking about kids, mortgages, growing old, and this was how she celebrated our future. Without thinking, I took a screenshot and posted it to my own page. My caption was short, "First night of freedom." Then I changed my relationship status to single and tagged everyone who mattered, including her father, Harold Winslow, Ridgehaven's most self-important insurance executive. The reaction was instantaneous. Notifications exploded across my screen. Friends, family, co-workers. Some concerned, most entertained. Small-town Ridgehaven thrived on gossip. I'd just handed it its main course. At 4:15 a.m., I heard the crunch of tires in the driveway. Claire burst through the door like a hurricane, mascara streaked, black dress crooked, perfume and cheap whiskey colliding in the air. "What the hell is wrong with you, Noah?" she screamed, waving her phone. "Are you insane?" I sat at the kitchen table, laptop open, watching the wildfire spread. "Wrong with me?" I asked quietly. At 38, I'd learned to leash my temper. 2 tours in the Army, years running a handyman business, but that leash was fraying fast. "I'm not the one grinding on strangers at my bachelorette party." "It was just a joke," she said, throwing her purse on the counter. "You're so damn insecure. It was harmless fun." "Harmless?" I pulled the photo onto my screen. "This looks harmless to you?" She went pale for a beat. Then the defiance returned. "You don't trust me after 8 years? That says everything about you, not me." "Who is he?" "Nobody, some random at the bar. Tessa dared me. It meant nothing." But her voice trembled. Her eyes flicked away. I'd seen enough liars in uniform to recognize one without the camouflage. My phone rang. Harold Winslow. "Answer it," she hissed. I put it on speaker. "Hello, Harold." "Noah Mercer," his voice cut like ice. "What in God's name is going on? My phone's been blowing up all night." "Ask your daughter." "Claire?" "Daddy, it's nothing. Noah's having some kind of breakdown. The photo was just a joke." "A joke shared 300 times," I said. "Channel 9 just picked it up. Local groom calls off wedding after viral bachelorette photo. Congratulations, you're famous." Her face drained. "This is insane. You're ruining everything over nothing." "I'm ruining everything," I laughed, a hollow, humorless sound. "I'm not the one dry-humping strangers 3 days before the vows." "That's enough, both of you," Harold snapped through the phone. "Claire, come home now." She left in a storm of perfume and profanity. I sat alone in the kitchen, the glow of the laptop illuminating the mess my life had become. Ridgehaven's rumor mill was grinding overtime. Even Mrs. Delaney, my 80-year-old neighbor, left a trail of shocked face emojis beneath the post. But as the adrenaline drained, something else replaced it. A gnawing certainty that Claire's panic wasn't just about public shame. The man in the photo felt familiar, even half-hidden, and I was going to find out who he was. By morning, my phone was a war zone. Calls, texts, voicemails, sympathy, mockery, outrage. Mrs. Delaney was the first to appear, casserole in hand, and curiosity blazing in her eyes. "Such a shame, dear," she said, bustling straight into my kitchen uninvited. "Always wondered about that girl. Too ambitious, if you ask me. Those late nights at the office." "Late nights?" I echoed. "Oh, yes, working till all hours, though I've seen her car come home at 5:30, leave again, back by 10. Strange way to work late, don't you think?" I filed that away and called Jake Holloway, my oldest friend and owner of Holloway's Bar downtown. "Dude, you broke the internet. Half the town is gossiping, the other half is making memes. I need a favor. Lunch?" Already clearing my schedule. We met at O'Malley's. Jake's place smelled of wood polish and secrets. He poured me a beer and pushed over a basket of wings. "All right," he said, "what's the real story?" I showed him the photo. "Look at this guy, really look." Jake squinted, then let out a low whistle. "Holy hell, that's Derek Vale." "Who?" "Regional manager at Winslow Insurance. Harold's golden boy, BMW driver, charm for days, thinks every woman in 10-mile radius is an audition." The puzzle pieces began to click. The late nights, the defensiveness, the panic when the photo went public. "This isn't about a drunk dare," I said. Jake's face hardened. "If she's tangled with Vale, it's more than cheating. That guy's her boss's boss." I nodded slowly. "Then it's time I found out how deep it goes." "You planning something?" "I'm planning to investigate." Jake grinned. "Count me in." "Oh, and your Facebook post. Word is Harold dragged Vale into his office first thing this morning. Whole company is buzzing." That afternoon, I parked across from Claire's building. At 5:30, right on schedule, she walked to her car, but instead of heading home, she drove towards downtown Ridgehaven. I followed from a distance, heart pounding. She pulled into Riverside Apartments, one of those waterfront complexes with glossy glass and overpriced rent. She walked into Building C like she'd memorized the route. 20 minutes later, she emerged with a tall man in a tailored suit. Even from half a block away, I recognized the posture. Derek Vale. They got into his BMW and drove off. I sat there for an hour, staring at the empty parking space, the confirmation heavy in my chest. This wasn't a one-night mistake. It was a full-blown affair. That night I called Marcus Reed, an old Army buddy turned private investigator. "Need a favor," I said. "What kind?" "The kind you're good at. Research, surveillance, maybe some creative problem solving." Marcus chuckled. "Sounds like someone's in trouble." "I just need to know how deep it goes. How long, what they're planning, everything. Give me 48 hours. The next morning, guilt showed up at my door, in the form of Tessa Ray. Her eyes were swollen, voice small. "We need to talk." I stepped aside. She hovered in the entryway like a penitent child. "Look, Noah, I feel awful. The photo thing." "Spare me. How long has she been with Vale?" She froze. "I can't. I promised her." "I saw them together last night, at his apartment. Either you help me understand, or you keep lying for her." Tessa's lip quivered. Then the tears came, streaking mascara down her cheeks. 6 months, she whispered. "It started at the company retreat. She said it was just physical, that she still loved you but needed excitement. I thought it would burn out. Instead, she planned our wedding while planning her escape." "There's more," Tessa said. "Derek's been promising to leave his wife once he gets the VP promotion. She thinks they'll run away together." "His wife?" 15 years married, 2 kids in private school. She thinks she's different. She thinks he loves her. I leaned back against the counter, the betrayal settling like lead. When Tessa finally left, I sat alone in my workshop, surrounded by the hum of my tools. For 8 years, I'd been the dependable one, the man who fixed what was broken. But Claire and Derek made one crucial mistake. They had humiliated a man who knew how to build and how to dismantle. The quiet ones, I thought, are the ones you should never push too far.